Hello my loves, and welcome to your daily dose of astrological insight and inspiration for Friday the 14th of June through to Sunday the 16th of June 2024. I'm intuitive evolutionary astrologer Crystal, the crystalline priestess. Now let's get into the forecast. So, Friday, wow, heavy day. Honestly, this is actually going to be a little bit of a heavy weekend. We do have a really amazing Sun Mercury Cazimi aspect that is starting to build on Friday afternoon for my southern hemisphere folks. It's probably going to be Friday morning for my northern hemisphere friends. But we do have this Mercury Sun Cazimi building today, which is really a positive aspect, but the build up around it has us feeling a little bit confused. There's a lot of ideas that we're all having. We're all very stimulated at the moment. The moon is reaching her opposition with Neptune. She's been, in an opposition with Saturn all day, all night. So now she's moving into that opposition with Neptune. And she is making the T-square with Venus, and I mean the Sun and Mercury as well, but it's stronger with Venus. So it's definitely a day of really having to take the best care of ourselves we can, because we're going to be feeling really, I don't want to say down, but there's definitely an element of wounding that's coming through today. You could be feeling moody, you could be feeling fine one moment, really upset the next. This is definitely a day that opens up the conversation around mental health. It's definitely a day where there could be a lot of like uncomfortable emotions coming to the surface, especially with the Sun and Mercury being in a sextile with Chiron while they make their grand thing, their Cazimi. So there is definitely a difficulty, it feels, today with just being able to think clearly and think straight. It's sort of an energy of needing to just, like I keep saying with this Mars and Taurus, it's just needing to just keep putting one foot in front of the other and not rushing through things. We have the moon coming out, so the moon is definitely affecting us today. There's a lot of anxiety coming up. There's a lot of noise. I definitely feel like the noise is feeling really intense. I mean, those birds, you guys can hear them. They're magpies, and they are just absolutely going off now that I'm filming this reading. So I feel like Spirit's trying to speak to us really loudly today. This whole weekend is going to be Spirit speaking really loud. We have the Ten of Swords coming out as well. So the anxiety thing is really something to think about today. It's okay if you're having anxiety come up to the surface. We all are feeling, like I said in my Instagram reel yesterday, like we're not really feeling our most healed selves at the moment. We're not really feeling like we're able to show up as our best self, because the collective, these transits are really calling for all of us to look within a little bit, to really look at what it is that we kind of emotionally keep giving our energy away to. Anxiety, overwhelm, all these things that we're putting too much energy in too many different places. This Moon-Neptune opposition is really tough. It's really hard to sort of get a grip on things, but at the same time, with this artist archetype coming out, it is definitely a day, it's a weekend that's going to be really powerful for creative expression, artistic expression, writing, painting, drawing, all that sort of stuff. The light attributes of the artist card is expressing a dimension of life that is just beyond the five senses, inspiring others to see life symbolically. So this is kind of having to take like a little bit of a step back, like doing what you can throughout the day to keep yourself busy and to keep your mind occupied, but also, allowing yourself to create in order to digest and process some of the energy that we're going through. There's just a lot coming up, I think, for everyone. And it's really, like I've been saying, like the mental health thing is really important over this weekend. So if you can give yourself a break and just spend some time with like this artist card, like literally just doing something creative and artistic, it's really going to help you see through some of the fog that we're moving through this weekend. Shadow attributes is using talent as an excuse to mistreat others, posing as the starving artist to elicit pity. So I do think that for a lot of us, it's feeling like there's a really big wound at the moment in the collective around creatives, especially with Saturn being in Pisces, making these squares to Mercury, to, you know, the Sun. We've had a square with Venus, the Sun, and Mercury all in the past week, and it's just really, really been tough, I think, for creative souls and people who just want to sort of be, you know, in this energy of being able to share ourselves authentically. Because with all these changes that we're going through, with all this Gemini, especially changes to the internet, changes to social media, and changes to everything, it feels like there's almost like a reality check that's kind of coming in over this moon, over this weekend, that is really a little bit like a hard pill to swallow, to be honest. We have the magical child coming out. So there is a need to see optimistically, to see the light at the end of the tunnel at the moment. We have the mediator, so it's needing to be in both worlds. As above, so below, you know, it's about being able to see two sides of the equation. The fact that everything is changing online, everything is changing in our world, everything has changed within us as well. And we're needing to kind of meet the universe. We're needing to kind of meet the universe and God and reality in this halfway point that we as a collective, we don't really know how to actually move forward in this energy yet. I can feel the heaviness within myself. I can feel the weight of this and the depth of this reality that we're moving into, and how strong it actually is, and how much it's really going to take all of us to sort of have this courage, and for all of us to sort of, with this magical child, to believe that everything is possible, to believe in possibilities, because it feels like at the moment, and especially over this weekend, it might feel like things are not possible. It might feel like there's just so much energy condensing into so many different areas in our lives that we're having a hard time to ground. We're having a hard time to see clearly through any of it. It's literally like we're seeing where everything's messed up at the moment. Like the house is a mess, like something's up with the career, the partnership, the kids are crying, like it's like everything happening at once. The magical child light attributes is seeing the potential for sacred beauty in all things, the belief that everything is possible. Shadow attributes is pessimism, depression, and disbelief in miracles, believing that energy and action are not required for growth. So this is giving me that like wishing upon a star energy. These are all those little wish, blow a wish, make a wish, blow a thing, like what are they called? Dandelions? I don't know. But they're those little flowers, and this is the second time that those flowers have come up this week. So it is about us almost needing to wish on a star, even though we are, you know, having to go through these massive reality checks. Can we be both realistic and both, you know, connected to the potential of everything, you know, because it's really hard. It's like a dichotomy, a symbiosis that we don't quite understand how to move through at the moment. Anyway, let's go and have a look at Saturday now. So Saturday is when we have the exact Mercury and Sun Cazimi, and then Mercury moves over the Sun. So Saturday is when we might be having a little bit of clarity after the fogginess of what that crazy ass Friday you know, kind of was. Friday night, Saturday morning. It's definitely us sort of, I feel like we're trying to recoup after all that, but while we are coming off that moon opposition with Neptune, we're moving closer and closer to Venus being in square with Neptune. So we're not done, and then after Venus squares with Neptune, we're going to have the Sun and Mercury squaring with Neptune next week. So we're not done with all of this kind of weird energy. It's just got to keep trudging through it, you know? We're also going to be having a full moon in Capricorn that's building up. So that's coming next week as well. So we are in a building phase. We are kind of in a phase of seeing on Saturday, I think, where things need to be smoothed out and evened out. I think this Mercury Sun Cazimi is at least going to offer us an opportunity to see things clearly, and for us to maybe have a little bit of spontaneous insight and spontaneous, you know, a bit of help. It feels like this is when the universe might kind of come in and give us a little bit of a leg up and a little bit of like a here's an idea. We have justice coming out. So it does feel as though Saturday is us getting a little bit of footing, even though we're still in this really weird sort of chaotic energy. The moon moves into Libra on Saturday, which is a little bit, like I said, it's a bit of a breath out after that really, really strong, intense moon that we had with in Virgo. So once the moon hits Libra, we're going to start building towards a conjunction with the South Node and an opposition with the North Node. That's going to be more on a Sunday, but we are going to have a little bit of a break, because we're going to have a really nice trine with Jupiter in the morning. So in the morning through to the afternoon. So it is a day where we get, I feel like it's like a breath of like seeing clearly, getting to take that like exhale and getting to have a bit of a moment where it's like, oh, thank fuck. You know, I can see where I can see sort of clearly through why that had to come up. This is us maybe seeing why certain things came up on Saturday and on Friday and Friday night and Saturday morning. We have the Nine of Swords, so there is definitely still lingering anxiety, and because Venus is building, everything's building into this square now with Neptune, so there's definitely the anxiety that's coming out. It feels like it might be really difficult to sleep over the weekend as well. Restlessness, just a lot of like uncomfortable sensations. It feels like uncomfortable sensations. Like I said, a lot of us overthinking, a lot of us being afraid, you know, tossing and turning, and not even just like afraid, but just worried, like worry vibes, worried about things. Worry feels like the the word of the weekend, to be honest. I wish this could be a more positive horoscope, but this is really a really intense weekend. We have the Two of Cups and we have the Nine of Cups coming out. So it feels like it's not really a weekend to be indulging too much in your fantasies. This feels like a weekend to be trying to find a real balance between getting stuff done and balancing things, like, you know, moon in Libra. It's really a weekend, a Saturday, to, you know, if you want to go spend time with a partner or a friend or someone that you care about, it's that sort of day where, with the moon now being in Libra, it's like, could we now maybe talk through, and with these connections to Jupiter, can we maybe start to talk through some of these energies that we've just experienced over the weekend? You know, maybe we're needing to have a conversation with a friend or someone close to us, a sibling, a family member, and just like vent some of this out. And I think that might actually really help us to see things a little bit more positively and from a little bit more of a healthier, happier perspective, because I'm really being serious about this mental health stuff. So like, it really could be a tough weekend for a lot of us. So just keeping your keeping your wits about you. So just, yeah, being with Mercury Sun Cazimi, it's like being really, really blissfully aware of your thoughts and your communication patterns and your styles, and how maybe things need to change up. We have the mediator coming again, so it really is about having a balanced communication style. And I think with the collective and how intense everything is at the moment, there is very much this energy of everybody like having so much to say, especially with all this in Gemini. There's a lot of pressure that's been put on this Sagittarius part of the chart, with all these squares between Virgo, Pisces, and Gemini at the end of the week. So it's really putting the pressure on our belief systems. And so with this mediator coming out, it feels like really us having to wade through a lot of the like, I keep wanting to say muck, like just wading through some of the mental stimulation that we're going to be going through over the weekend, because it just feels like it feels like it's very busy. It feels like it's very chaotic. The light attributes of the mediator is a gift for negotiating fairness and strategy in personal and professional life, respect for both sides of an argument. So this is us needing to be in a neutral energy, because I do feel as though this weekend's going to be having us with these squares to Neptune. The division is going to be growing, and because this is Pisces and it's Gemini, both of these signs represent a split. So it's very much needing to be in a neutral energy over this weekend, and you're going to be seeing it collectively, but we're also going to be seeing it in our own lives, where different, you know, ideas and opinions may be at odds with each other. And it's just really about you know, holding on to both sides of the coin at the moment and not being dogmatic or just, you know, hell-bent on one idea or one decision. I feel like everything at the moment with all of this in Gemini and these squares to Pisces, it's really about needing to change your mind. You know, if something comes up that proves you wrong in the past, then it's okay. This is the energy of being able to change and shift, and that's going to help us grow. Now let's have a look at Sunday. Okay, now Sunday is when the moon does make its conjunction with the south node in Libra. So again, we have that intensity, and now Venus is moving really, really heavily into this square with Neptune. So once again, we're back in the weeds a little bit on this day. We have the moon that's going to be opposing the north node. So we are going to be, it's going to feel like a very fated energy this weekend. I feel like it's going to feel like one of those weekends where it's like, wow, that was like that one of those weeks where you kind of remember it because it shifted things so much. Whether it's positive, whether it's negative, it's definitely about making changes and making shifts. With the moon being in cardinal Libra opposing Aries, it is definitely us needing to sort of wake up to where we need to take initiative in moving forward and initiative, and it feels like building emotion. Sorry loves, camera ran out of battery, but I was at the end anyway. It really is about building emotional boundaries on Sunday, and you know, having boundaries with ourselves too, not allowing ourselves to once again go down the rabbit hole of being afraid to even feel into our emotions. There's a lot of fear coming up. Just that the moon making these oppositions to, you know, Chiron, North Node, and then moving into an opposition with Chiron, it is still us wearing our emotions on our sleeves, wearing our feelings on our sleeves. We have the teacher and the priest archetype that came out for us. So it is about, you know, needing to do our research, needing to learn. Even with this priest coming out, it says facilitate spiritual commitments, serves as a channel of spiritual energy. Shadow attributes is violates the trust of your spiritual community, seduced by your own spiritual role. So that's definitely with this Venus square Neptune, and with the moon conjunct south node, this could be, you know, this energy of needing to discern what teachers are in, you know, integrity, what teachers are serving the spiritual community and serving, you know, whatever it is that you're learning from, if they're serving in a holistic way. Because it feels like with all these squares with Gemini and with Neptune, you know, this could be stuff coming out left, right, and center about people in positions of power that have been doing things behind closed doors that are not, you know, not healthy, not kind, all that sort of stuff. So with this priest coming out, it does feel as though we're needing to have like our discernment glasses on as much as possible this weekend. And I've been saying this literally all week and all Gemini season, because this is what Gemini season is about. It's about seeing the truth, and sometimes the truth is actually stranger than fiction. So I feel like that's kind of the energy of this week, is that things are going to be so strange. The moon, Mercury finally moves past the sun on Sunday. Woo. We have the Six of Wands and the Ace of Coins with the Empress in the reverse. So Mercury starts to move past the sun and moves towards his conjunction with Venus. So with the Six of Wands and the Ace of Coins coming out, this is us now using that beautiful epiphany energy, that kind of get up and go that we received from Mercury and the sun being together, that message that we were delivered from Spirit on Saturday. But it's time to sort of use that to now take us into something else and to plant a new seed somewhere that's going to bring us the success that we are truly looking for. I do feel as though we're all sort of trying to build on these new identities, with the North Node being in Aries and Chiron. We're trying to build through identities that feel like they've been wounded. And so it definitely feels like with having the moon in this opposition to the North Node and in conjunction with the South Node, this is about us not losing ourselves in the weeds of like, what is everyone else thinking? What are the spiritual teachers? You know, what even is the spiritual community saying? This is us needing to be really discerning with what is our heart saying? What is our spirit saying? What is our soul saying? It's about what your own, you know, Aries is the self. So it's about your own self. How can you pay more attention to yourself and what you need, and your own perceptions and ideas and your own powers in this world, without needing to have other people show you the way. With Libra moon connection, have other people try and mediate for you. This is about us needing to be in our own power this weekend, even though it's going to feel really, really uncomfortable and really strange, and it might even feel a little bit stagnant. Even with like so much change happening all around us, it could feel like we're feeling a little bit emotionally stagnant. So on Sunday, it does feel like we're going to be going through the weeds a little bit again, but those weeds are going to help us to clear out some of these, more toxic ideas, toxic, things that we've been holding on to. And especially with it being in Libra, it's about us no longer holding on to some of these, self-worth opinions and self-worth beliefs that we might have been holding on to for a long, long time. The moon's not long off its conjunction with Lilith and off its opposition with Neptune, so we are trying to integrate a lot of the confusion and the fog that we've really been wading through over the past week. So take it easy. It's going to be a weird weekend. It's going to be a strange weekend, but it's going to help us ultimately with this Empress in reverse. It's going to help us ultimately find what, our worth and our value and our ability to create and to build, even through the chaos, even through the crap. It's about, like I keep saying all week, putting one foot in front of the other and just getting what you can done, not needing to get everything done, because this energy is asking for us to balance things out, with the moon being in Libra South Node, us needing to not keep trying to have everything looking perfect on the outside. It's about working on the inside at the moment. And, the entire collective is in a weird, chaotic shitstorm. So don't expect yourself to be 10 miles ahead of where you think that you should be right now, because no one is at the moment. And it's a weekend for seeing our wounds clearly so that we can work with them rather than against them. Anyway, my loves, I'm going to really leave this reading there. I hope that you enjoyed it. I'd like to thank your angels, your ancestors, your higher self, your spirit guides, all the beautiful benevolent beings that are surrounding you and I in all moments, for allowing me to receive and to deliver this message to you. If you resonated with this, if you enjoyed it, if you liked it, please do give it a thumbs up, because it really helps to spread these horoscopes to more other astro lovers like you and me. If you would like to book a personal reading with me, you can do that through the links down below. I have tarot and astrology readings available. Make sure you check out the channeled songs for the weekend. There's also all the sun sign horoscopes are now up. I had a massive issue with my hard drive yesterday and it broke. So I'm taking that as a sign that I'm actually going to no longer continue with the sun sign horoscopes on starting next week. I don't think. I'm going to focus more on these daily horoscopes, and I'm going to be focusing a little bit more on blog writing and all that sort of stuff. So it is what it is. It was too much work for me to try and do all that every single week. I wasn't able to, also prioritize clients with doing that much filming and editing and all that sort of stuff. So I've decided to can that, and instead I'm going to be writing my blogs and just sharing a weekly astrology education video and monthly horoscopes for the signs, but then it's just going to be the daily horoscope for everyday astrology information and inspiration. So that's where I'm at the moment. I am all over the place, but this Gemini season. I am with all of you guys. We are all in the shit right now, trying to figure it out and just make it through the fog, because it's a really weird time. We're all feeling it. So I love you guys. I hope that you have a lovely, amazing weekend, even though it's going to be pure chaos out there. And I'll see you next week on Monday. Peace out.